Hi, boys and girls. Miss Keeling here. You've heard me talk quite a bit about my farm animals, and I thought while we're away from school doing our non-traditional learning that I would give you a little bit of a virtual field trip here and read a book with you. These are some of our Black Angus, and yes, they are so spoilt. They like to have treats. We've had 3 babies. This is calving season. We've had 3 babies born this week. 1 boy and 2 girls. In fact, we've got a baby girl that was born this morning early. You can see her out there in the field with her mom. So we've got them used to eating treats, so that way they're easily when we load them and have to move them from one field to the next. So it's a hobby. And so they are so funny. And so if you have never seen a cow before, they are mammals. And again, a mammal has hair, it nurses its young, and it gives live birth. So I'm going to take my gloves off here and I'm going to see about reading us a book together. So if our animals will cooperate. And the name of the book is Cindy Moo, and it's by Lori Mortensen. And I'll have my glasses out here. So we're going to turn the book so maybe we could see the illustrations with it, because how we've talked about in class, the illustrations tell the story just as much as the words do. And again, this is Cindy Moo by Lori Mortensen. Hey diddle diddle, the cat and the fiddle, the cow jumped over the moon. The little dog laughed to see what a sport, and the dish ran away with the spoon. Over at the Diddle farm, a little past 8, all the cows all heard a nursery rhyme that caused a great debate. Diddle cow stood in the barn and listened to each word about the cow that jumped the moon, amazed at what they would heard. Across the moon, cried Buttercup. No way, said Honey Bun. The moon's too high and much too far. It simply can't be done. And as the cow scoffed at the thought, a voice rose loud and true. Why can't a cow jump to the moon? And that voice was Cindy Moo. The cows began to argue. Each took a different side, but in the end they all confessed that none of them had tried. So Cindy Moo raised up a hoof and said that it was true. If that cow could jump the moon, well, they could too. As Cindy Moo waltzed to the field, the others gazed around and gathered around. She jumped the moon with room to spare in one grand bovine bound. She pawed her hoofs and shook her head. This is a teachable moment. This is how they call each other, and so one's calling her baby over there. So do you see the 2 babies that's laying down over there? And so this is the mama right here calling her baby. She pawed her hoofs and shook her head, and she ran and picked up speed. But with a mighty moo, she jumped across a prickly weed. Told you so, said Honey Bun. Oh, too bad, said Buttercup. Cows weren't meant to jump the moon. Why don't you just give up? But Cindy Moo ignored her friend. She made a solemn vow. She'd jump across that silver moon as soon as she knew how. That night, after gazing, she caught a stunning sight. The moon was perched upon a hill, a ball of silver light. Look, it looks like she could just go right over it, like almost touch it. Cindy Moon let out a snort and charged up to the top. And when she reached the grassy peak, she skipped to a stop. Instead of staying on the ground, much to her surprise, the moon flew off the grassy ridge back up to a star-filled sky. Cindy Moo plopped on the ground. Would it be for naught? Jumping to the moon, she said, is a lot harder than I thought. Back inside the barn that night, the worst of all came through. Rain clouds swept the moon away. Oh, now what was she to do? She couldn't jump what wasn't there. Perhaps the herd was right. The moon and cows would never mix, but then, or not then or any night. But late that night when raindrops stopped, she peeked outside and found the moon had slipped down to the earth upon a rain-soaked ground. And you see, boys and girls, you could see the reflection. So that's why there's not two cows here. She's seeing her reflection. So she's seeing the moon here on the water. Cindy Moo kicked up her heels and raced with all her might, and with a mighty moo she jumped across the moon that night. Look, she's jumping, a cow jumping over the moon. Her friends came out and marveled much. "Oh, Miss Moo, you've done it now. A cow can really jump the moon, as long as she knows how." And ever since that rainy night, the cows do not debate. Whenever rain clouds pass their way, and it's growing late, they gaze upon the puddled moon and jump it 2 by 2. And guess who leads the diddle herd? Of course, Cindy Moo. What a fun book. Cindy Moo by Lori Mortson. So I don't know if my cows actually jump the moon out here. Again, this book is a fiction book. It's a fun book because cows don't really talk, do they? They communicate, but they don't talk with us. So stay tuned. We're going to do some more farm friends with some of our ducks and miniature donkeys and sheep. And stay tuned. Miss you guys. Bye.